Hold on, let me make sure that recorded. Okay, so welcome everyone. Thanks again for joining. This is actually, we're halfway through our series. So today we'll be talking about our intelligent SAP basis automation. Nick will be going into more about the platform, the value add for customers, specifically for SAP customers, as they're looking to get more access and transparency to their systems. Just a quick few housekeeping notes. Please mute yourself when you're not talking, but there definitely will be time at the end where we can have an interactive discussion. Feel free to turn on your cameras, your microphones, ask Nick any questions that you might have. And again, all of the recordings are located on Managecore's website. I'll share the link at the end of the program, but it's also on the homepage of our website. So take it away, Nick.
Awesome, thank you. So as everyone knows, today's topic is going to be on our basis automation tool and our basis monitoring tool set. So kind of going into the new age of monitoring, a lot of people in the SAP space are used to logging in daily, checking out transactions, making sure the system's working properly. And then as it evolved, it went into CCMS type of alerting out of Solution Manager. And that was a big thing for many, many years. And it's still accepted and used in the SAP ecosystem. I mean, Solution Manager has been definitely a big play in the SAP management space for a while. And there's new functionality in that system that allows you to do some end-to-end monitoring and process monitoring. But as Solution Manager evolved, so did the tool sets that you can use to monitor your SAP system. So now there's a lot of different tool sets out there that you can purchase separately as a third-party product and monitor and maintain your SAP environment. As those tool sets evolved, some piggybacked off of CCMS and some went off kind of on their own and made different ways to monitor and alert on SAP type of transactional and SAP-centric alerting. And the tool set we use today is our Watchdog portal. And I'll go into that a little bit today on how we use it, what we do with it, and why we think it's a great product. So as I mentioned, CCMS and Solution Manager are highly used out there. Our product actually does not hook into Solution Manager or CCMS. It has the capability to do it, but out of the gate, our product is designed not to have to rely on CCMS. And the big benefit to that is that you don't have to monitor or maintain two separate systems. So I don't have to maintain my Watchdog platform and my Solution Manager platform to get proactive monitoring out of it. So that is one big plus. It is definitely less maintenance than working in two different systems. But our tool set doesn't just stop at the monitoring. As the name suggests, it really is a monitoring and cloud automation platform. So what we really try to do is focus on how we can be more proactive, and that's what this tool set does for us. It gives you the ability to monitor not only real-time events like a system alive or a short dump happen, but it also monitors what we would call daily events that basically take a look at your environment each day and determine if it meets or exceeds certain thresholds. So an example of that would be maybe expensive SQL statements. Our tool set takes that monitoring from a daily standpoint and says, over the last 24 hours, here's your most expensive SQL statements. Now, in a traditional monitoring tool set, you'd go in and you'd say, all right, alert me if that happens, or you wouldn't get alerted for an expensive SQL statement. Well, most people in the basis realm understand that when an expensive SQL statement happens, you don't need to get text at 2 a.m. to understand that occurred, right? But we want to know it happens, because then the next day we can come in and say, look, you're trending toward having all these expensive SQL statements happen on, the first Tuesday of every month or every Wednesday it happens. And we can take that trending analysis and collectively work together to figure out, okay, well, how can we fix that, right? It's not necessarily going to cause an issue right now, but these are the key events that we try to trend on and look toward to say, let's prevent this from becoming an issue. And that's really what our tool set focuses on. Not only the alerting and the metrics that go along with day-to-day tasks, but the overall health of your system. And I know it's not for this presentation, but next week we'll be getting into an actual demo, and I'll go into some of the metrics that we actually show in our environment. But our Watchdog platform, again, also doesn't take a lot to configure. That's the beauty of our product as well. We can generally roll out templates within a few days if the network is established. So it's not something that is really a hassle to configure and require a lot of support packs and just the nuances around an SAP environment already taken care of with Watchdog. And it really is a fairly straightforward product to get going. Once we have it configured, we definitely look at the alerts that come out of it and really tune it, right? We all know that a monitoring tool is only as good as what comes out of it. And if there's a lot of noise around it, people aren't going to look at it. And we take the approach of clearing out those alerts, and it's very easy in our tool set. We can make custom alerts for clients. We can also tune it to push out a certain rule set and a certain monitoring threshold to all servers. Maybe you have a mix of HANA and SQL Server as an example. It can selectively understand that you're running these systems on SQL Server and push out rule sets just for that as well. So it's a very automated tool set once you have it configured. But then we take it kind of a step further, right? So we can provide automation and APIs into our tool set. So what that means for our clients is, working in GCP as an example, I can monitor our environment and then send commands back to GCP to do certain functions. And vice versa, I can send logs from GCP into Watchdog as well to alert. So it's a really good sync up of our tool sets. And what that does as an example is we have clients where, from an automation standpoint, let's say CPU spikes at 90% on a specific server. And we want to spin up additional application servers when that rule set goes off for that particular server for maybe, let's say, an hour. So if your system is spiked for 90% for over an hour, maybe spin up 2 more app servers. We can do that today, and that is part of our cloud automation platform with this tool set. So it sends a request to Google and spins up those app servers for you, and then it can spin them back down as well, depending on the rule sets and the metrics you put into the tool set. So it really is a robust tool set that allows you to not only do standard monitoring, but takes it a step further with daily monitoring and proactive alerting. And then we go into the ability to do actual automation with our platform and launch servers in cloud environments, decommission servers if need be. So really it is an all-encompassing platform that allows us to be able to take that SAP environment and automate it as much as possible. Now, the reason we did that was twofold. One, we want to get rid of someone having to log in and monitor the environment manually. That is a point-in-time monitoring and does the client a real injustice by looking at it at a single point in time and seeing if there's a failure or not. We want to get alerted, and we want to make sure that we have the standard-based monitoring taken care of, which is what we do with the tool set. And that allows our consultants to focus on analyzing the data. In this day and age, we're all about AI and machine learning. We're trying to gear our tool set toward doing things like that, because really the crux of managing an SAP environment is in the data that you read, right? It's not that you got an alert. It's not that it happened once, but it's the trending. It's the fact that maybe short dumps occur every night at X time, right? You want that data and you want to analyze it. Just like from a functional standpoint, I'm sure there's people that want to analyze, how many products are shipped on a daily basis, or how many quantity of X amount of products shipped. All those type of things are done today in different platforms, whether it's, AI or machine learning, but Managecore is taking that to the basis front and saying, we want our consultants to analyze that, because it does take a skill set to understand what that means and what it means to have a short dump occur every Wednesday night, or what that means to have memory spike to 95% every Tuesday afternoon at 4. We want to know those type of things because that allows us to pinpoint how to resolve problems or prevent problems from happening in the first place. Because we all know a spike in memory every Wednesday for 2 months could maybe crash the system in month 3 or 4 when it's your busy season. So we want to be as proactive as possible. And this tool set is what allows us to do that and really be comprehensive on how we tackle basis administration, right? We take it from a really proactive approach. And our consultants, I know I've done a few of these meetups already and talked about our team, but our consultants are very senior individuals. They've had a lot of experience in managing SAP environments, and they can apply that experience and knowledge to helping maintain and be proactive on your environment versus just looking at your systems every day and answering alerts. That's a very reactive type of management, and that's what Managecore does not do with our clients. We take this proactive approach, and Watchdog is really the heartbeat of that. It allows us to automate, it allows us to analyze and really do predictions around the data that we collect. So with that, I'll kind of open it up a little bit, see if anyone has any questions around our tool set. And like I said, next week I will be demoing the tool set. So looking forward to showing you what our tools can do and answering any questions around what it can and can't monitor. But right now, if anyone has any questions, be happy to answer them around our automation and monitoring platform.
Great. So I'll open it up to anyone on the phone. Just a quick note too, all Tuesday sessions have been geared towards SAP basis services, and our Thursday sessions that we'll have again this week are Google Cloud centric. So just for anyone on the phone that has any questions regarding both of those, but go ahead. I think someone had a question.
No, hey, Nick, this is Carl. When we're working with our customers, I think one of the key things, we make sure we point out, they see exactly what we see, right? So when we talk about transparency and we do have to resolve a problem, when that call does happen, can you maybe walk them through that, as we go through this?
Yeah, absolutely. So the key to our dashboard too is that we have that transparency. So this dashboard provides our clients with the capability to see what we see. So all of our clients actually have access to this environment, and they can see the alerts that go off. They can see, is their system status in red, green, yellow. We have customizable dashboards that we do for each of our clients. So maybe there's a management dashboard for productive systems. Maybe there's a non-prod dashboard. Maybe your BW team wants a separate dashboard. We do that for our clients in this tool set. And we have reporting as well, right? So all this data can be reported against. We can customize the reporting on it. Maybe there's specific monthly reports versus weekly reports. But the transparency is key with our services. So everything that we see, our clients see, and what that does is it also helps pinpoint the issue faster, right? We're not trying to hide anything. We're not trying to hide the fact that something turned red. And if we see it and we see that a certain job fails, maybe the client sees that as well, and they say, oh, you know what? Don't worry about it. We understand why this job failed. We'll take care of it, right? That triaging didn't need to occur. I didn't need to tell my client that happened. They saw it right away. In the meantime, the resolution's even faster. So transparency just helps all around for our clients.
That's great.
Hi, I have 2 questions.
Sure.
Hi, Carla.
Hi, thank you. One, if our SAP is on-prem, we don't need any extra hardware for your tool, Watchdog, do we?
So the tool set rides on agents. So we go and install an agent. We do require that you can communicate back to our environment. So whether that you have a server in your DMZ that you could connect back up to our environment, or some clients, they tend to just deploy a small VM for us to put what we call the gateway on it. But if you do have a server in a DMZ, all it is a small app that runs and communicates back to our environment. So it does require that you run something on a piece of hardware, but whether you have that already or not, it may not require an additional server if you have somewhere for us to put the gateway.
Okay, thanks. And then do your business partners also get the alerts? I mean, like if you get an email at 2 in the morning, do your business partners get those alerts as well?
Yeah, so great question. So we configure it so that all the support team definitely gets the alerts. And then from a client standpoint or business partner standpoint, we can customize that to whatever you want. So we've separated alerts out as an example, where we at 2 a.m. might get a page and a phone call, while our clients may only get an email as an example. And it may be only two people at that customer that get the email. And maybe we customize it for specific job functions. So let's say, for example, you had a specific job that you know is critical to the business. We want to monitor it. But if it fails, 95% of the time, it's because of some data issue. And this particular business analyst needs to fix it at the client end. We can have that alert just go to that consultant or analyst in addition to us, and customize alerts so that the right people get the right alerts. So again, yes, we can do it, and it's very customizable per client.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
That was a great question. And one of the questions I think that I've gotten is just the process of setup and the ease of how to actually get the tool installed and running for our clients.
Sure. Yeah, so the overall process is, from an SAP standpoint, it requires an SAP user, and it requires a transport that has a role in it. And basically all it is limits the functionality that SAP user can do. And then in addition to that, we require OS access so that we can install an agent, and we configure that agent to point to a gateway. And that gateway is the application I talked about earlier that has to just have external access to our monitoring server. Where that sits, it could sit in a server in a DMZ. It could sit on its own server. It's not a heavyweight application, doesn't require a lot. And what we do is Managecore points all those agents for all your servers to that gateway. That gateway then just communicates to our server on the back end. That whole process takes a couple days to configure. It's not very time consuming. Just 2 ports on the firewall to open, and we have communication going back and forth. And then Managecore launches all the agents. The beauty of our product too is that once we launch the agent, Managecore has done the due diligence of configuring all the monitoring parameters that we see at 90% of our clients. So right out of the gate, our tool set, when we get the agent running, knows that it's running HANA on SUSE, and it is going to deploy all the HANA and SUSE-centric alerts right out of the gate with Managecore default templates. And that takes care of 90% of the alerting right out of the gate. So our tool set's smart enough to know that. And then we go in and fix the other 10%. So right out of the gate, you get a pretty clean environment once we launch it.
Great.
Hey, Nick, this is Carl again. Just to touch on, we talk about the SAP environments. Does our tool also monitor other non-SAP environments if the customer requires it?
Yeah, good question. So it will monitor non-SAP environments from an OS perspective. So we can do file system, server, CPU, memory, things like that. And we can also monitor any database. So let's say you had a SQL Server database sitting somewhere else you want to monitor. It does not run SAP. Our toolset can do database monitoring as well. And then we have a lot of custom checks. So let's say you had a URL or a Tomcat server not running SAP, but you wanted me to make sure that I can always get to a certain URL. I can do that from our toolset as well.
Great. I think that's all the questions I had on my end, unless anyone else on the meetup has any questions. Cool. Well, Nick, if you want to go to the next slide, maybe.
Absolutely.
Unless you have anything else to add. But that was great. That was really great. So our next session is this Thursday, again at 1 p.m. Central. We'll be discussing the advanced capabilities of HA and DR specifically to Google Cloud for SAP. So be sure to join that. And again, very Google Cloud centric on that call. The recorded sessions are available at that link there. Otherwise, on our homepage, you'll see a link on the first banner. And again, if anyone has any questions between now and then or anytime, reach out to myself, ktanner@managecore.com, or Michael Hasse. Thanks again, Nick. We appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Carla.